of classic Dallas Cowboys talk. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ is Lord. Let's not waste no more time. Let's get right to it. Okay? So, few things. I think there are people out there who believe that Emmitt Smith was the day one starter when he arrived in Dallas in 1990, okay? But actually, he wasn't, okay? During the offseason, they had acquired Tommy Agee, okay? They had signed Tommy Agee from the Seattle Seahawks, okay? And they actually signed Timmy Smith. Yes, believe it. The Dallas Cowboys actually signed Timmy Smith. The same Timmy Smith who rushed for 200 plus yards in the Super Bowl. Yes, that Timmy Smith. That Timmy Smith. Yes, that same Timmy Smith who rushed for 200 plus yards in the Super Bowl for the Redskins, and then had drug problems, and then fell out of the league. They signed him. Okay, so Emmitt Smith was not the day one starter. As a matter of fact, when they played the San Diego Chargers, the first game of the year in 1990, Timmy Smith was starting. Okay, so Emmitt Smith at the beginning of the year was behind Timmy Smith and Tommy Agee. Okay, so then Timmy Smith got cut after the first game, right? So now he was behind Tommy Agee. Okay, and then Tommy Agee, after a few games, finally gave way to Emmitt Smith. Okay, and then Emmitt became Emmitt. His first 100-yard rushing game came against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Texas Stadium. Okay. And ironically, they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice that year. It was a wacky league. It was a wacky conferences in the NFL 1990, okay? The Arizona Cardinals were considered an NFC East team, despite the fact they were way out in the West. And then I believe when the Houston Texans came into the league in 2002, division realignment took place. Okay, then it all got fixed. Just like it kind of doesn't make sense in Kansas City is in the AFC West, but they're probably going to stay in the AFC West forever. They're not going nowhere. But anyway, so yeah, Emmitt Smith was not the day one starter. He was behind Timmy Smith and Tommy Agee. Okay, and so yeah. Also, the Great Wall of Dallas. Okay. Mark Tooney arrived in 1983. Kevin Gogan arrived in 1987. Stepnoski arrived in 1989. John Giesick being acquired from the Raiders in 1990. Then Eric Williams arrived a year later. Okay. So you had all these pieces in place, okay? So after they had, so by 1991, they had been together for a few years. Only Eric Williams, who was a rookie, had been with them the past couple of years, okay? And so John Giesick said it best. He said, I think we thought we were pretty good in 91, then we played fairly, okay? And I think the Philadelphia game where Troy got sacked 11 times. Troy got sacked 11 times and we lost 24-0. Okay? We lost 24-0. Got sacked 11 times, 90 yards of offense. Yeah. That was the crucial turning point, I believe, for the Great Wall of Dallas. That was a crucial turning point because after that game, they said Nate Newton's too fat, Mark Tuhune's this, Kevin Gogan's that, Mark Stepnoski, he's too small, yada yada yada. And so, and let me just say this. This is true to this very day in the NFL. You don't play perfect every week, okay? You don't play perfect every week, okay? And you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have bad days in the NFL, and that just so happened to be a bad day. And I believe that was the turning point because that's pretty much the last time that happened during Troy Aikman's career, where he got sacked 11 times. That's pretty much the last time that offensive line allowed him to get sacked like that 11 times. Now, the closest thing I can think of is when Adrian Claiborne, who is out of the league, he sacked that 6 times, okay? So, yeah, that was ugly. Yeah, that was ugly. That's when Ezekiel Elliott was wrongfully, and I mean wrongfully, suspended for something he did not do, okay? So, when Dak got sacked 6 times in that Atlanta game, that's the closest thing I can think of, okay? But, yeah, what else was I about to say? Bernie Kosar, yeah. So Bernie Kosar had been with the Browns from 85 to the early part of 1993, okay? Then Bill Belichick took over the Browns in 1991. Oh, okay. So, and just a little interesting side note. Jimmy Johnson, no. Bill Belichick's first NFL loss as a head coach was a 26-14 loss to the Dallas Cowboys and Jimmy Johnson. Okay. That was the first game of the 1991 season. Okay. Now, ironically, Bill Belichick's first NFL win was against the New England Patriots, which was a 20-0 win in 1991. Okay. So, the irony. The irony in that. So, but yeah, so Bernie Kosar was with the Browns from 85 to the latter part of 1993. And so, Bernie Kosar had a few bad games, okay? And if you have a few bad games for Bill Belichick, you kind of fall out of favor with Bill Belichick. And Bernie Kosar fell out of favor with Bill Belichick at the start of the 1993 season. And they say it was an errant throw against the Los Angeles Raiders that got intercepted. That was the final straw. So Bernie Kosar gets cut by the Browns during the 1993 season. Troy Aikman is injured. The Dallas Cowboys just happened to come right in and swoop him up. The Dallas Cowboys come right in and swoop him up. Just like that. Okay. And so, believe it or not, it was Jason Garrett who got the start against the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. Troy Aikman got hurt against the Giants. Okay, the previous weekend against the Giants. Okay, so it was initially Jason Garrett who got the start against the Arizona Cardinals. Then Jason Garrett didn't do much. So Jimmy Johnson pulled him and inserted Bernie Kosar. So Bernie Kosar filled in pretty nicely. He also played in the Super Bowl too, believe it or not. It was the last play of a game where Jimmy Johnson wanted to get him a snap of the kneel down. So Bernie Kosar can say he played in the Super Bowl and he won a Super Bowl. And who else would you rather win a Super Bowl with than the Dallas Cowboys? Okay, not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5-time Super Bowl champions. All right. And yes, us Cowboy fans, we rub it in y'all faces every chance we get. Okay. I'm just kidding, man. Let me stop. Okay. So, Eddie Murray. Okay. Eddie Murray, longtime kicker for the Detroit Lions. Okay. He was also picked up by the Cowboys during the 1993 season too. Okay. I believe he was released by the Detroit Lions after the 1992 season. And Lynn Elliott missed a couple of field goals against the Buffalo Bills in the second game of the year at Texas Stadium that would have won the game for the Cowboys. And Lynn Elliott went to Jimmy Johnson and said, "Coach, I've just lost my confidence." So then Jimmy Johnson was like, "Well, that's all I needed to hear. I cut him and got me a new kicker, which was Eddie Murray." So Eddie Murray won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys, and before the Super Bowl, Jimmy was giving his pregame speech. He said, "Bill Bates, have you played in the Super Bowl?" He says, "No." "Did you want to win in the Super Bowl?" He's like, "Yes," despite the fact he won one, or already won one, and he was injured. I guess he was saying, because Bates had missed out on the 1992 championship season. Okay. So he said, "See, guys, you're playing for Bill Bates." And so then he was like, "Bernie Kosar, do you have a Super Bowl ring?" "No, Coach." "Do you want a Super Bowl ring?" "Yes, Coach." "Now see, you're playing for Bernie Kosar too." "Eddie Murray, do you have a championship ring?" "No, Coach." "Do you want a championship ring?" "Yes, Coach." "You see, you're playing for Eddie Murray too." And of course they won 30-13. So there you go. All right, that's it, and that's all for Classic Dallas Cowboys Talk. I am Sean Farrell. God is great. Jesus Christ is Lord. Peace out. God bless y'all.